Top 10 Scariest Halloween Costumes Ever. Wake me up when September ends. Summer has come to pass indeed, and you all know what that means. Autumn leaves falling, the smell of pumpkin spice in the air, and one of the awaited seasons of the year, Halloween. October has arrived, and trick-or-treating has never been this tricky. The world is already scary as it is, but that doesn't mean you should stop having fun. And that's what Halloween is for, having the best of both worlds. It's a season for everyone, not just the kids. Though ideally it's for them, it's also for the young at heart. But we are in a pandemic, and everyone could take a beat just this once. Halloween is straight up fun. It is pretty much the perfect excuse to watch horror films and eat the sweetest of candies. But the best part is dressing up as your favorite character, or whoever you want to be. But this year, it's going to be extra, more creative, out-of-the-box original, and a whole lot of fun. Welcome to CLEVERSIDE. Thank you for joining us today. If you are new, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and notification bell so you'll be the first to see our latest videos. If you are already a member, welcome back. Get ready for another round of exciting information for your day-to-day entertainment, so be sure to watch this video to the very end. Now, no one can really say for certain how much of the festivities we can get on this year, but that doesn't mean we can't explore the potential scariest costumes for 2020. Make sure you hold on tight to your lamps and broomsticks, because this will be a wild ride to Spooky Town as we unmask the scariest Halloween costumes ever. Top 10 Scariest Halloween Costumes Ever. Number 10. Karen. In a world where every single soul is expected to stay at home, there will always be a Karen out there in the wild, searching for a manager to smother. Apologies if you've had to overcome one yourself. Sending you a virtual hug. Karens are a scary creature that constantly pop up out of nowhere, and it's only fitting to make a parody stereotype of them for Halloween. Now, a caricature version of Karen will surely spike up the goosies down your spine. Like she'd be so down to kill the manager or call the police on you this instant. Next up, number 9. The Hazmaters. It's an odd word, but someone made it up, as there are lots of them growing exponentially since the outbreak of the virus. Though this suit is probably the safest costume there is. You can straight up imagine you're in the middle of a pandemic, and you're one of the last living humans left out there. Oh, wait. You can scrap imagining the pandemic part. See? Nothing is more realistic than this. Scary AF. You can get creative with the character you wish to be under the hazmat suit. There's no right or wrong way to approach this, really. And if the suit doesn't work for you, then maybe a super suit would do. Coming in at number 8. Number 8. Umbrella Academy from the Umbrella Academy. CLEVERSIDE heard a rumor that you got hooked from the recent season of the Umbrella Academy. In honor of this super dysfunctional family of superheroes who have 8 days to get butts together and save the world, why not dress up as one of them? Or better yet, a spooky version. This Netflix series has genuinely taken us all by storm. Well, figuratively, since it entertained us during the second quarter of home isolation. Talk about the Earth needs saving vibe. The circumstance isn't far off. The options are cool and awesome too. Like, there are 7 supers to choose from. You can dress up like Klaus and rock the messy crowning glory, dark eyeliner, and a dog tag necklace to make the look come to life. Oh, and don't be shocked if dead people start showing up. Maybe Ben is a better fit, if looking out for others is your thing. Put on a black leather jacket with a dark top and pants, and finish the look with sturdy boots. Keep the proper distance from others, and pretend no one can see you, since you're technically dead. For an old soul at heart, then you should be 5 this Halloween. Since you're not likely to wear a school uniform outside anytime soon, then you can improvise this look by throwing in a plaid cardigan with a white button-up underneath, a couple of high socks and saddle shoes here, and pair that with an old school jacket and matching shorts there, and you're good to go. With great power comes great responsibility, and having none isn't a problem at all. Dress up as Vanya instead. It's easy. Simply wear an oversized jacket, oversized shirt, and put on some oversized jeans and boots. Anything oversized at this point would work, really. If you've been one of those lads that worked out a lot during isolation this year, then you're fit to take on Luther. Wear slim-fitting pants and sensible boots, and show off your abs all night long. A proud superhero never looked this crazy good. Emulate Diego's look by wearing all black with a backpack to keep all your crime-fighting gear. Did someone say fringe? Bangs? What? If you got it, Flaunt it. Be Allison. Rumor has it that a sophisticated black coat, high heels, and long leather gloves can make a good Allison look. Well, any of these characters would be scary badass, with a few drops of blood and white contact lenses. Make it your most unforgettable yet. Share the most unforgettable Halloween costume you have ever worn. Leave us a comment below. Number 7. Joe Exotic and Carol Baskin. Who could ever forget the iconic story of Joe Exotic and Carol Baskin at the initial stage of quarantine? And the Tiger King had just come out, catching all the attention. Having watched it, leaving everyone's jaw dropping from the horror that was Joe Exotic and, of course, Carol Baskin. It's inevitable this year that people will dress up as Carol and Joe. First of all, Joe killed tigers. Yikes. And Carol, as you all know, most likely killed her husband in the process and served him as snacks to the tigers. Like, who in their right mind would even do that? But you got to admit, Carol has an interesting look to her. See? Like her floral crowns, much like the ones from Midsommar. Long blonde locks, bell-bottom jeans. Pair that up with Joe and his tigers. If you have a kitty or stuffed toy at home, throwing in a cowboy impersonation and a stash would completely reimagine the couple's shady groove. Incoming Zoom call notification. Number 6. Incoming Zoom call. Whether you like it or not, you can't hang up on this one. Of course, an incoming Zoom call is something you dread during the day since the lockdown began. Zoom reached different heights in the recent months and has become the second most installed app in the overall downloads this year, ranking right next to TikTok. And while answering the Zoom calls are a vital part of your day, work from home definitely drains you at some point, especially for meetings, classes, and other events and conversations that should have just been directly sent to your email. Sometimes the schedules are even more ridiculous. It's either planned too early or too late, and other times you're well prepared for it, only to be rescheduled at a later time. This ringer is not just scary, but also borderline annoying. How many of you here received an incoming Zoom call during the night? Even creepier, the link you got comes from a suspicious IP, and you would think that it can't be your boss, since it's the ungodly hour and they're most likely asleep by then. It can't be any of your friends and family, since they can easily dial you up through the phone, and a Zoom call wouldn't be necessary. But that's just a scenario. Climbing up at 5, The Grudge. Everybody loves a classic horror story. How could anyone look past the much-loved story of The Grudge? This supernatural horror classic didn't escape the reboot craze, that its production began in May 2018 and was released last January 2020. Once again, there's a house that's cursed by a vengeful ghost and dooms those who enter it with a violent death. You can take on Kayako Seiki's classic spooky look with a dark wig and dark makeup on. But you've got to be careful who you plan to pull this prop on, because you might make people leak themselves, or worse, trigger a heart attack. We don't want to cause any more trouble than this year has brought us. Speaking of the year, number 4, year 2020. Yes, you didn't misread that. Coming in 4th place is year 2020 itself. You don't have to be in denial about the fact that 2020 has been the scariest year by far in recent memory, it being closely synonymous to plain unlucky. Nothing will ever be the same moving forward from this year. This series of unfortunate events kept unfolding for 2020 that no one can simply keep up with. Sometimes it's chilling to even open up your social media feed, because there seems to be a bottomless pit of bad news in there. Anywho, there are many terrifying events you can draw inspiration from that could in turn be an educational moment to some. Say for example, events reflecting closest to climate change, Australian bushfires, or the West Coast wildfires, burning millions of acres and displacing hundreds of thousands of people since mid-August, Black Lives Matter movement, and the police brutality that started the conflict. This is probably self-explanatory, but if you don't find any of these terrifying at all, then you, ma'am/sir, need to have your privilege checked. A wise lady once said, "Politics doesn't interest you because you have no interest in changing a world that suits you so well." Oof, mic drop. Number 3, The Creature from Underwater. Creeping in at 3rd place, another movie that came out this year, starring Kristen Stewart, DJ Miller, Vincent Cassel, and John Gallagher Jr., just to name a few. It's a movie about a crew of underwater researchers who scramble to safety after an earthquake devastates their subterranean laboratory, called Kepler 822, which is operated by Tien Industries at the bottom of the Mariana Trench, the deepest known oceanic trench on Earth. The facility started leaking water, and the crew realized that if they were to survive, they had to walk 1 mile on the ocean floor to get to another facility. Strangely, as they did the transition, a mysterious creature started attacking them one by one, and you, Cleverling, can dress up like that ferocious creature. The film might have only gained medium to low ratings, but that's probably because the viewers didn't truly get the identity of the deep-sea creatures and the behemoth that appeared in the last scenes of the movie. So, just imagine being a creature inhabiting the deepest dens of the earth, not having the slight touch of light. So deep, your worst nightmares probably reside there next to hell. Number 2. Coronavirus. Guess we can all agree that this coronavirus is scary as hell, and the scariest yet to happen this year. You can dress up as the virus itself, so as to raise awareness of the importance of maintaining hygiene and social distancing measures, and thus avoiding the spread of COVID-19. If you're scared of being canceled, that it might seem insensitive to the people who have relatives that actually died because of the virus, then don't be. Just think of it as a better option as opposed to those people who have been wearing Native American or Mexican clothing as a costume over the years. Now that's just plain ignorance. Number 1. The Bent Neck Lady from The Haunting of Hill House. Jump scaring at the top of the list, The Bent Neck Lady. Based on a modern reimagining of Shirley Jackson's legendary novel of the same name, about 5 siblings who grew up in the most famous haunted house in America. This being the haunted memories of their old home and the terrifying events and ghosts that drove them from it. One character in particular that made us drawn to the horror miniseries was the charming and tragic story of Eleanor Nell Crane, played by the beautiful Victoria Pedretti, which led to the catastrophic and heartbreaking origin of the Bent Neck Lady. It's already been 2 years, but still her image haunts us to this day. One does not simply forget the ghostly woman with a broken, bent neck that appears in Nell's bedroom and hovers over her sleeping body. Hide. According to one article review stated that the Bent Neck Lady speaks to the different ways that our traumas follow and haunt us. Sometimes we are not just fearful of the bad things that we experience, but also the physical, emotional, and psychological toll that these bad things can have on us. So, basically wear the personified image of your mental breakdown. Consider the looks as an homage to the miniseries, and also as the next franchise installment arrives this October 2020, entitled The Haunting of Bly Manor. And that, Cleverlings, concludes our wild ride to Spooky Town, with the 10 scariest Halloween costumes ever. Hope you got some inspiration. We hope this video sparked some joy in you. Please do give us a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button. You can also let us know other topics you want us to cover. Here are some of our other videos you might like. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.